David is reportedly not cooperating with police. Authorities still haven't been able to determine what happened.
Yo, we need to have a serious conversation about what's going down with David right now. If you've been on social media, you already know. On September 8th, 2025, they found the body of Celeste Rivas in the trunk of a Tesla registered to the singer. And the details coming out, they're disturbing as hell. Let me start from the beginning. Celeste Rivas was from Lake Elsinore, California. She was reported missing on April 5th, 2024. That's over a year before they found her. Her family reported her missing multiple times that year. Her mother told TMZ that she was dating someone named David, and David's real name is David Anthony Burke. Now here's where it gets dark. September 8th, 2025. Workers at a Hollywood tow yard smell something foul coming from this Tesla that's been sitting there since September 5th. The car had been marked for citation back on August 27th after sitting in the Hollywood Hills for weeks. When police check it out, they find Celeste in a black bag in the front trunk. The medical examiner said the body was and decomposed. But here's the part that got investigators really looking at David. The body was partially frozen. TMZ reported that David had a freezer at his rental house big enough to store a body. They even found video from September 4th, 2024, showing him with what looks like a 7 cubic foot chest freezer box behind him. Investigators brought in outside experts because they believe the body was frozen or refrigerated for months before it ended up in that Tesla. The timeline the investigators putting together is wild. They got Tesla data, GPS tracking, social media posts. They got it down to the minute. David took a trip to a remote area in Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night back in spring 2025. He spent 2 hours out there. Police think that's where the dismemberment happened, not where she died. The private investigator on the case, Steve Fisher, said the last photos of Celeste were taken in January 2025. That means there's months unaccounted for between when she was last photographed and when they found her. Now people keep asking, why hasn't David been arrested? LAPD officially named him a suspect in November, but they can't arrest him without probable cause. They need the medical examiner to determine the cause of death first. Because the body was so decomposed and had been frozen, it's taking time. Legal experts are saying once they get that cause of death, things are gonna move quick. It ain't just David they're looking at. Mark Garagos went on that Two Angry Men podcast saying there's a second suspect who was involved before, during, and after Celeste's death. They ain't released the name yet, but investigators believe David had help with the dismemberment and disposal. Now let's talk about the wildest part, David's music. His biggest song is called Romantic Homicide. The lyrics go, "In the back of my mind, I killed you and I didn't even regret it." That song came out July 20th, 2022, way before Celeste went missing. David said in interviews it's about killing someone off in your mind after a breakup. Not literal murder, but the optics, they're terrible. And it gets worse when you look at his other videos. In One More Dance, there's literally a scene with David blindfolded in a bloody shirt, while two people put a body in the trunk of a car. The Rehab video? That's got an animated scene where his alter ego cuts off a girl's arm. The lyrics talking about broken hearts and bloody sandals. And Celeste's missing person poster said she was wearing Hello Kitty sandals when she disappeared. David explained all this in an interview with Mahogany back in March. He talked about creating this alter ego named Itami, which means pain in Japanese. He said Itami was like a murderous character from a manga he was writing, a detective with an evil side that commits murders, then has to solve them. He compared it to Tyler Durden from Fight Club. He said about the Romantic Homicide video, "I put that all on screen, and me and Itami had a great time just like chopping it up and getting to kind of merge creative ideas." The industry response has been swift. His career right now, it's done. Tour canceled after September 19th. Interscope suspended all his promotions. Crocs and Hollister dropped him immediately. They had just announced him as the face of their new collab and had to crop his face out of the campaign photos. But ironically, his streaming numbers are going up because people are curious about the case. Even the streaming community has been reacting. Pokimane, who had been on stream with David before, posted saying she's shocked and disturbed and hoping justice gets served. Her streamer friend Jason the Ween, who used to rock with David, unfollowed him on Instagram. At first, Jason was actually defending him on Ludwood's stream, saying he didn't do it. He literally performed the next day. If he was a suspect, the police would have been after him. But once more details came out, he switched up.
No, listen, he didn't do it. He literally performed the next day. If he was a suspect, the police would have been after him. He's not a suspect.
He's not just escaping the police clutches?
No, and I'm gonna perform. We're gonna perform on the 20th, me and David.
The Discord screenshots that surfaced made everything worse. People found old messages, allegedly from David's Discord, talking about gore, dismemberment, and death. Some fans been saying they knew something was up. One person in his Discord asked him to release the song about Celeste, the girl who went missing, and got banned by the moderators. There were Reddit and TikTok comments from months ago calling out David for talking to someone underage, but nobody reported it to the police. They just posted about it online. David's manager, Josh Marshall, finally broke his silence on TikTok. He denied everything, saying, "I've received no emails and I'm no one's roommate. I live full-time at home with my wife and kids. My daughter is 14 and this news is affecting so many lives." But Steve Fisher, the private investigator, found a screenshot of an email that was sent to Marshall warning him about Celeste being missing. Marshall claimed he never got it, but Fisher says Marshall not only got it, but forwarded it to David and one of Celeste's friends. What makes this case even crazier, Celeste had fake IDs and was telling people she was a USC student. She was at parties and clubs with David. Her friends said she was quiet and followed his lead in everything. There's even video from someone claiming to be her former teacher, saying she met David on social media. He came and got her, she ran away for a month, cops found her in Hollywood and brought her back to school. Then, she disappeared again the very next month. The investigation's still ongoing. Police sources saying David's not cooperating despite what his PR team claimed back in September. His team put out a statement saying he was fully cooperating with authorities while on tour, but LAPD sources told NBC and People magazine that's cap. He hasn't cooperated from day one, and they haven't even been able to interview him yet. They put a security hold on the medical examiner's case on November 21st, so no details can be released publicly right now. The chief medical examiner, Dr. Ode Ukpo, even spoke out against this practice, saying they believe in transparency and trying to help the families get answers. Here's what could happen next if they determine cause of death and can prove. David's looking at serious time. If they can prove the dismemberment and disposal, but not murder, maybe she overdosed and they tried to cover it up, that's still major charges. And if that second suspect starts talking, game over. David deleted his whole Instagram after this came out. But it's too late for that. The feds got everything. The GPS data, the Tesla tracking, the social media posts, the timeline of where he was and when. They got him going to Santa Barbara County in the middle of the night. They got the freezer purchase on video from 2024. They got the timeline of when the Tesla was abandoned. The prosecutors building their case methodically. They triangulated everything down to specific locations and times. This ain't no sloppy investigation. They're taking their time to make sure everything sticks. They got Tesla data showing every movement. They got surveillance footage. They got cell phone pings. They even got an unreleased song where David mentioned someone named Celeste in a love song. What's wild is David was actually on tour when they found the body. He performed in Minneapolis on September 9th, the day after they found Celeste. Then he did shows in Kansas City, Denver, Salt Lake City, and Portland. like nothing happened, before finally canceling everything on September 19th. The LAPD chief, Jim McDonnell, went on record saying they got a lot of resources dedicated to bringing this to a conclusion. When asked about whether David had a relationship with Celeste, he said, "Whenever you investigate a homicide, the detectives look at all of the associated issues. In this case, that's something that they would be looking at. The evidence they've been collecting is overwhelming. Deputies been to Celeste's family home 11 times between February 2024 and April 2025, including 3 times in March 19th, 2024. Most of the calls were listed as minor crime investigation, and 1 for suspicious circumstances. When police searched David's Hollywood Hills rental on September 17th, a $20,000 a month spot not far from where the Tesla was found, they took out a computer and several bags of evidence. Steve Fisher, the private investigator hired by the landlord, said he found some disturbing stuff in that house, items he believes could be used to, quote, get rid of a person. For now, we wait and see what the investigation reveals. The family held a memorial service for Celeste in October. They raised over $24,000 on GoFundMe for funeral costs. They're just trying to get justice for their daughter. But you know what's crazy? David went from being one of the hottest rising stars to being the center of one of the most disturbing cases in music. He had 33 million monthly listeners on Spotify, 3.6 million TikTok followers. His songs Here With Me and Romantic Homicide were viral hits. He was signed to Darkroom, the same label as Billie Eilish. Now, that's all gone. The way his music hits different now is wild. People are going back, listening to his lyrics with new ears. In one interview on the Zach Sang Show, they asked him if he gets into friendships expecting them to end tragically for art inspiration. He said, "I don't know, I hope I'm not." Then talked about looking back at his old songs and being like, whoa, this whole situation's got people talking about how we need to take online warnings more seriously. People in his Discord, on Reddit, on TikTok, they were calling out red flags for months. But nobody went to the police, they just posted about it online and kept it moving. That's a problem. The case is also showing how social media evidence is changing investigations. The feds, they got everything timestamped, geotagged, saved forever. David can delete his Instagram, but they already got all that data. Every Tesla movement is tracked. Every cell phone ping is recorded. You can't hide nothing in 2025. Look, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. This case is gonna get uglier before it's over. When that medical examiner report comes out, when they announce charges, when that second suspect gets named, it's gonna be front page news. And if they can prove what they suspect happened, we're talking about one of the most disturbing cases to hit the music industry in years. Listen guys, that's all I got on this one. Sometimes these stories hit different because they remind us of how dark things can really get. Whatever happened to Celeste Rivas, somebody needs to answer for it. Rest in peace to that young lady.